Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing some Vendread test hands. So this deck is a really cool deck that basically revolves around summoning the boss monster, Vendread Slayer, which is a really cool boss monster in the way that there's never really been an insanely good, ritual zombie monster ever. And this is the only deck that actually focuses around using zombie monsters for ritual summons, which is kind of cool. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on your screen, comment bar notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, because we have some awesome rewards like getting your name description for every single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, or even getting Twisted Deck profile every single month to your patron along with test hands. So without further ado guys, let's get straight on into this. So this deck is really cool because I think, if don't hold me to this, but I'm pretty sure it's kind of like a mix between Spawn and Resident Evil, if I can remember it correctly. Like the main Vendread Slayer, he's based on Spawn, and then the actual cards that are the zombies, they're actually based on Resident Evil zombies, which is kind of cool. I like that a lot. It reminds me a little bit of the New Mutant archetype as well, because that is actually very much based on Resident Evil, which is kind of neat. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with these test hands. This deck is very interesting in what it does. It basically is like your kind of standard zombie deck. It does run the Ballardrot engine where you're using Zombie World because it's the literal best engine for zombies, but you're also playing some really cool other tech monsters in the deck as well. They kind of make the deck really work insanely well, which is what's really cool. And before you guys ask, a lot of folks ask what kind of sleeves I use for this one. I have no idea where I got these. I've had these for a very long time and just throw a random zombie deck in it every so often. And Vendread's just got to be the lucky one that got these particular sleeves. So usually I just use Ultra Pro smalls, but this, I don't know where I got these from. I've had them for a long time. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for our first test hand. If we summon a Vendread Slayer, we've done well. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. So we're getting a Super Poly right off the bat, 2 Super Polys, pre-prep, a copy of Unizombie, and a copy of Ballardrot. Okay. Not bad by any means, because we have our Slayer in our hand, because you can just do something simple. Go ahead and activate the pre-prep. Pre-prep is going to activate and is going to add from our deck to our hand a copy of Slayer, and is going to add a copy of Origin. So you guys might be wondering how you can actually do that when your Vendread Origin actually says, hey, you can ritual summon any of your cards. Well, if you read the fine text of pre-preparation of rights, I'm going to tell you how. So what this card does is it searches any card that's in your deck that is a ritual spell and a ritual monster. But the ritual spell, and added 1 ritual monster in your deck or graveyard or hand whose name is listed on the ritual spell. So if you notice at the very bottom, not a lot of ritual spells do this, but this has a bonus effect that says that if a Vendread Slayer you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. The ruling sets that you can add these off of each other, which is kind of neat. I like that a lot. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon out the copy of Unizombie. Unizombie's effect is going to go off and is going to send the Ballardrot from my hand to the graveyard. And I would send from my deck to the graveyard a copy of the Banshee, because Banshee is going to get Zombie World on our side of the field, which is going to basically make Super Polymerization live very easily. So go ahead and activate the copy of Banshee and banish it, and then activate directly from the deck the copy of your Zombie World, because now you have the complete setup of what you need to get your plays going. Actually, don't send that from your hand to the graveyard. Send this from deck to graveyard. This is level 4. You didn't send this from hand to graveyard, because what you're going to do is you're going to use it as cost for the copy of your Vendread Origin. This card is used to ritual summon any Vendread monster from your hand or graveyard. You attribute monsters from your hand or field, or banish zombie monsters from your graveyard whose original total level is equal or exceeds the level of the ritual monster you're trying to summon, which can be Ballardrot, and then you summon out the copy of your Vendread Slayer. Ballardrot will touch the grave. Your copy of your Origin will hit the grave. and then you will set a copy of Super Polymerization wherever you want. I usually like to play around Mech Knight, so I'm going to set it down there. And you have one card left in your hand, so you're going to pass. And when you pass during your opponent's standby phase, the effect of Ballardrot is going to trigger because you have the copy of Zombie World on your side of the field. It states that during the standby phase, if a face-up card is in the field spell zone and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card in defense position. Gives you an additional negation on your side of the field, and you have the copy of your zombie world. And if your opponent puts 2 monsters on the field, you can use your copy of Super Polymerization to discard Super Polymerization, use 2 monsters on your opponent's side of the field, and summon out a copy of Dragon Necro Nether Soul Dragon onto your side of the field as well. So now you have this insane board with a copy of Dragon Necro Nether Soul, got rid of 2 monsters, have a negation on top of it with the Baller Draught, have Unizombie that can resolve to revive stuff out of the graveyard, and you have your boss monster as well. This is like peak performance hand of what this deck can do. Well, I mean, I know it doesn't look like a whole heck of a lot, but it really is, because you have so much recursion between the Baller Draught, you have a boss monster in the Necro Nether Soul, you have a copy of the Vendread Slayer, which can boost itself up and replace itself by sending zombie monsters, that you can banish a zombie monster from your graveyard and gains 300, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to add a ritual spell from your deck to your hand, and then you get to send a Vendread card from your deck to the graveyard, which is pretty cool. I love this card, and it's just an overall really good boss. So also, when you do this too, if you draw into your next card, you're going to draw into Striggs, which is going to let you normal summon it, and you can link it away with a copy of, say, Unizombie, or you can use the Unizombie to send from your deck to the graveyard instead of even normal summoning this, send your Glow Up Bloom to the graveyard, which then can special summon from the deck a second Baller Draught, which is going to get you an additional card on the field. And then the Baller Draught keeps coming back, and then you can just have this crazy board, which is going to be really cool. So you still have this insanely good, like, OTK style board of a beatdown of zombies, which is what the deck does. I mean, it's very simple. Like, what you're trying to do, you're summoning out this, and then you back it up with the Doom King engine. I mean, that's what it does. It does it well, as you guys can see. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next one. And then you add Super Poly to deal with monsters that your opponent might summon against you, which is what's really cool. There's no insane real, like, combo in this deck. You're kind of just throwing zombies at your opponent until they finally surrender or you eat their brain, which is what happens. I mean, it's just the way zombies work. I mean, they keep recurring and coming back over and over and over again. Which is kind of cool. The only thing that really kind of comes up is if you use your Origin to be able to, or the Ritual Spell, which I believe is called Origin. Let me double check that and make sure. It is, you can use Evolution or you can use Origin, yeah. Origin will get you a really cool play where you can get your other cards that are Vendread monsters from your hand to use as ritual material, and then your Vendread Slayer will gain additional abilities, which is kind of neat as well. When it does stuff in battle, usually it's battle effects or protection blanket effects that'll give it, which is kind of neat. So let's go ahead and shuffle this up and see what we can do for another test hand. So we're going to go ahead and draw. We're going to get Super Poly right off the bat again. Solitaire, this is pretty good. Striggs, that's not bad. Jackie Bolin, that's not bad either. And then you got a Battle Lord this time. Okay, so we don't have a ritual play in our hand because we don't have one of our 5 ritual spells, which is kind of weird. But we still have plenty of plays to go off because we have the copy of Solitaire that you can use Solitaire in your hand, tribute it, and then go directly into the deck for a copy of Unizombie, which is going to get you another play. So we're going to go ahead and go Unizombie because literally every zombie deck starts with Unizombie just about. I mean, that's just the way it is. The Unizombie is the single best card. It's like Armageddon Knight for zombies, but better because it increases its level. So we're going to go ahead and use Unizombie's effect. And we're going to boost it up by 1 level, and we're going to send from our deck to the graveyard our copy of Banshee again, which has the ability that in you can banish her, quick effect, to be able to banish her, and then you get to activate from your deck a copy, or hand or deck a copy of the Zombie World, which is going to get you Zombie World onto your side of the field extremely quickly, which you just play her as a one-of. If you guys want to see the deck profile, it is down in the description below, but you're going to be able to just immediately get that copy of Zombie World onto your side of the field, like instantaneously, which is going to be super helpful. And then you have other cards in your hand as well that can get you additional plays. You have the copy of Super Poly that'll get you there where you need to go. You have Striggs, which has the ability that if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can reveal a Vendread card in your hand, special summon it, which you don't have another. Well, you do have the Vendread card in your hand, so you can use it with Unizombie if you want to and go into a level 7 Synchro monster. You can reveal this card in your hand. with the copy of Unizombie, send it to the graveyard. If it sends sent to the graveyard, your copy of Battlelord can be revealed with your copy of Striggs, and then your Striggs is going to reveal in the graveyard its effect, and then you special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field, so you're going to just immediately put that on the field. This is level 5, this is level 2. You can synchro these two together, and then you get to special summon out your second boss monster, which is your copy of the Red Eyes Zombie Necro Dragon, which is going to be pretty cool as well to get out on your side of the field, because when a monster is destroyed by battle, with this card, you get to special summon a copy of, you get to special summon itself, the zombie monster from the graveyard, which is pretty cool. So you also have in your hand, or you have the copy of Super Polymerization with the Zombie World, which you can get rid of 2 monsters on your opponent's side of the field, which is still pretty good. I mean, it's not bad at all to be able to deal with a field like this. I probably wouldn't try and go for the Jacobolin, which you could go for Jacobolin if you want to. Because if you want to go for Jacobolin, it'll help you out a little bit, but it'll turn off the Super Polymerization because you don't have an extra card in your hand. So if you go into your next turn, you're going to draw in a pre-prep, which is going to be essentially exactly what you need. So you can go ahead and activate the copy of pre-prep and you grab from your deck your copy of Origin and your copy of, let's say, Slayer, which I probably would have discarded Battlelord because it doesn't matter if it's in the graveyard. To activate the Super Polymerization, because you know you're going to resolve it. Then once you do that, you can go ahead and activate the copy of Origin, discard the Jacobolin, or you can banish from your graveyard a copy of the Battlelord if you want to banish Battlelord instead, because this card says you can banish those monsters from the graveyard, and then summon out your copy of Slayer, and then you got Slayer out again, but you just still have the Jacobolin, but you don't have anything to discard with the Jacobolin, which is a little bit disappointing that you can't summon this card out yet, but you still have this really insane board that you can attack over something. When this destroys something by battle, you can special summon a zombie from the graveyard, which if you go main phase 2, or if you destroy anything by battle with this, it's already gaining 200 off of this, plus whatever your opponent has in the graveyard, guaranteed to have at least 2 because of the copy of the Nether Soul Dragon. So it's sitting at least 28. And then also, it's gaining 200 right here, so it's at 3k already, which is pretty good. But then if this destroys something, you can bring back the Unizombie your past turn. You go into main phase 2, and then when you go into main phase 2, you can use the copy of Unizombie to send from your deck to graveyard a copy of Glow Up Bloom, which then will get you exactly where you were before with the Baller Draught on your side of the field, which is going to help you out even more, and you have even more of an insane board than you did last time, because you have now Baller Draught, you have Unizombie, you have the copy of the Nether Soul Dragon, Red Eyes Zombie, and then this will be on your side of the field because of the copy of Glow Up Bloom that it says that if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, and then you get to special summon the card that you add if you have Zombie World on your field. So you just immediately summon out your copy of Baller Draught to your side of the field, which is pretty nuts. I mean, a field like this on turn 3, not bad. Not bad at all, I have to say. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for another test hand. As you can see, it's an extremely aggressive aggro deck. Like, that's what's cool about playing with this deck, and why I like playing around with this deck. And like I mentioned, I believe I mentioned in the deck profile, I don't super remember if I mentioned it or not, but a lot of the link monsters that you play in here, you don't super need like access code and stuff like that, because you never really link into it. Like the main ones that I summon in this deck is the Dragon Necro Nether Soul, Red Eyes, a Vendread. I summon all of the synchros from time to time when it arises, and then you don't really summon you don't really use these. Like, you don't really super use the rest of these all that much. They're kind of just there for utility. This is the main stuff that you're going to use that's relatively budget nowadays because it's all been reprinted, which is kind of cool. But if you guys want to check out the full deck profile, like I said, it is down in the description below if you guys want to see that. So let's go ahead and see if we can do at least one more test hand and see what we can actually do with this deck. So like I said, it's really cool in what it's trying to do with getting you those insane boards. So let's go ahead and shuffle it up. Draw for turn. We get an Ash Blossom, Doom King, a copy of Unizombie, Revendread Evolution, and a copy of Netherworld Banshee. Okay, this is not bad. This is not bad at all, because you can just do something simplistic. Normal summon out the copy of Unizombie. Yes, if they do hit the Unizombie, you're in a very bad position, because it's just really bad because you need Unizombie, but you can normal summon out the Unizombie and you have the copy of Banshee in hand that you can send to grave. The copy of Unizombie will go up by level. Then you can banish this again from the graveyard, and then you activate your copy of the Zombie World from the deck. And then you can use the copy of Unizombie's effect again, send the copy of your Glow Up Bloom. Glow Up Bloom's effect will go off and special summon out Baller Draught to your side of the field, which is a little bit weaker of a field than what you've been establishing, but sometimes that's why I like to do these, is that you get to see the weaker fields along with the stronger fields, but this time you have 2 negates that you can establish with the copy of your Ash Blossom, and then you have the copy of the Ritual spell that says you can Ritual summon any Vendread Ritual monster in your hand or graveyard, but you have to get that Vendread Ritual monster. So you can just discard this, and your opponent it'll hit one of their cards on their side of the field, and if you pass turn, you still have the copy of Baller Draught that can negate something. This is level 5 as well, which is going to come in a little bit handy. So if you pass turn and then you draw back into your turn, you're going to draw on a Super Polymerization, which having that copy of the Zombie World on your side of the field. That's why I love playing this. This card is so sacky and crazy. You can use the copy of Baller Draught, or you can use the in your hand and then fusion summon away, and then summon this again. And then you have the Unizombie in your hand that can then, instead of using, this is why I like using this. Let me show you guys this. If you didn't even have that copy of Zombie World on the field, and you have the copy of Evolution in your hand, you can just send from your deck to the graveyard the Glow Up Bloom, and then you had the copy of your Vendread Slayer to your hand. You can add it from your deck to your hand because it says on this card that if this card is sent to the graveyard, then you can banish this card to add a level 5 or higher zombie monster from your deck to your hand, or if Zombie World is on the field, you can special summon it from your deck instead. So you don't have to, I can just add it from deck to hand. It doesn't matter. It's either or effect. So I got my Ritual monster still on the following turn, and then you have Vendread Origin or Evolution that has the ability that if this card is in your Ritual, you can Ritual summon from your hand or graveyard. You must tribute monster to your hand or field, and or send a Vendread card from your deck to the graveyard. So I can use Evolution, send a copy of the Slayer from my deck to the graveyard, or instead of adding Slayer off of this, I could do something a little bit different, and I could add Battle Lord from my deck to my hand if I wanted to go Battle Lord instead of Slayer, and I could get an additional play off of that by sending Executor, and then special summon out the Battle Lord from my hand instead, which then will have the ability that I can banish a Vendread card from my graveyard to declare a type, which I have the copy of Evolution in my graveyard, or the copy of the Executor in the graveyard to be able to negate either monster, spell, or trap for the rest of the turn, which then I can lock down either spells or trap because Baller Draught's already going to deal with monster effects negating, and then you have this potential, again, crazy cool board to be able to OTK your opponent because you have well over 8,000 on board because you have 27 here, you have 28 here, which is going to make you 53, or 57, or not 57, but 55. Then you have this, which is at 58, and then 13 on top of that is going to put you at, or 85, which will put you at 98, I believe, if my math is correct. It'll put you at 9,800 damage on board, plus whatever the Nether Soul token gets you to as well, which is going to be super helpful. So that's it pretty much for the test hands for this. As you guys can see, it's a lot more about the grind game with this deck. Just showing you guys one more draw just to prove to you guys this is all about the grind game and what you're trying to do. Like with Revenant, if this card in your possession is destroyed by battle or by card effect, then you can special summon it but banish it when it leaves the field. So you have backup plays on top of it. The Unizombie, yes, is the center of the entire deck again because it is a zombie deck, but that's just the way zombie decks function nowadays. It's just, if you don't have Unizombie, it's not great. But that's basically it. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely tell what you think of this deck down in the comments down below. It's a really fun deck to play around with, as you guys can see. And if you can learn the copy or learn the Zombie World engine in the deck and you know how to Ritual summon, this deck is going to be fun. I guarantee you. You're going to love playing around with it. And if you want a budget build of a zombie deck, picking up Vendread is probably going to be your best bet because the deck is so cheap. It is so cheap. If you have 3 of the structure decks of the zombie structure deck just sitting around, and then you can pick up the common, like nothing in the deck is over a super rare besides that. So anyways, guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can come part of the notification squad, and definitely tell me what you think of this video down in the comments down below. And definitely check out the Patreon as well for all those awesome rewards, and we'll see you guys in the next videos. See you later, guys.